All right, it is a new day. We are back from Wisconsin, Texas, all that shit, and we are back to working on a shit ton of cars. And I am busy out the ass, dude. Like I got way too much shit to do. So we're starting off with the 335. As you can see, the bumper is off of it. So that is at my work right now. It's primed, it's drying. You're gonna see that in a minute. We're gonna pull both headlights out. We're replacing the DRLs. And then we are also going to turn this headlight into an intake, which will probably be its own separate video with like a few little clips in here. But we also need to fix the intercooler because it's hanging down too low and it put a hole through my last bumper, but we're not going to worry about that. We also have a new lens for this side, so it's going to get a new clear lens. It won't be all cloudy and shit anymore. As you can see, the X5 is back up on jacks again. We're doing the drive shaft support bearing, and I'm going to try to get rid of all the lights on the dash. So we have a few other things as well to put on that. The wagon, all the way over there, we have an intake to put on it. I don't think that's going to be in this video, but I don't know. And then also, here's our car. So obviously, if you guys saw last video, the whole underside of it has been undercoated, and that means it's all done. So the next step is going to be painting the engine bay. And apparently I was gone long enough for there to be a cobweb. Can't really see it on camera. So, we have a lot to do. I think I'm going to be fixing a Viper tomorrow. we got a lot going on, okay? So, yeah, we're painting the bumper right now. You're going to see that probably after the intro. And we also have to pull all that out. So, fun day, fun video. We also have our wheels that we're going to be showing you as well in a minute. So, stay tuned for that. All right, so we got the bumper all scuffed out with the scuff prep stuff. Now we're gonna spray it with this adhesion promoter from U-Pull. This shit's expensive as hell. So this was $30 a can. But plastic, I guess, doesn't adhere very well, so you really have to use this. Hopefully one can is enough for the whole bumper. But we're gonna find out. All right, so we got the exhaust off over there, as you can see, and we found our problem here, bud. You can imagine how loud that is as you're driving, and it's spinning a few thousand times a second, a few hundred times a second maybe. But there's like all powder and shit up here now. So now I need to pull it off the guibo, pull it off the diff, and somehow get the bearing off. See how that goes. I am sitting here laying under the car, drive shaft sitting there. I just want this to be a reminder that nothing you do on a car is ever easy. Oh, I'll just pop this bearing off, huh? Yeah, we'll just pop this bearing off real quick. Ugh, no big deal. So there is the inner part of the bearing that rides on the drive shaft right there, and there is, if I can zoom in, there's the rest of the bearing right there. As you can see, there's a cutoff wheel and a Dremel tool. So yeah. Oh man, this shit sucks. Alright, so today we're going to be installing some angel eyes, I guess. We're going to be installing new halos, which are these circle lights right here. We're going to be installing new ones of those, and we're also going to be turning this into an intake. That's the big part, is the intake. So, I already pulled apart the other side just to make sure I'm doing everything right, which is good, because I forgot a few things. But, there's a few little marks on this. But we're doing both sides. I already got the other side apart, and we're also replacing the lens on the other side. But we're going to get this taken apart, and the first thing you're going to want to do is take off this black piece. I'm not really sure what it's even for, but this one's really easy. There's just clips on the top, and it pops right out. Nice and easy. That's the easiest part of the whole thing. So now we're going to use a heat gun to get all of the adhesive nice and hot, and we're going to be able to separate the lens from the actual headlight. And this part is probably the worst part, but so now it's really hot, like can't even touch it hot. There's these two clips right here, and then we're gonna have to kind of separate it. So this part sucks, like I said. A screwdriver would be more helpful. I'm just using a pocket knife because I don't want to walk outside. You have to be careful because we're not replacing this lens. We're keeping this one. So I can't break it. Very important. Though not the best way to do it, but it works. And also I should probably, so there's a screw on the back underneath this little flap right here. So you gotta pull that back, take it out. It's a T20. All of the bolts on this thing are T20s. Come on. This is one of the things I kind of messed up last time, is I didn't take this out. So we're gonna get that out. All right. Now we can pry over here a bit more. There we go. All right. So it is off now. A bunch of adhesive everywhere. There's a connector right here you got to get out to pull it. Nice and easy. All right. Here is the lens. There are the blinker, and then there's just this black trim right here. So this lens is a lot nicer than the other lens, but that was done. Okay, so here's the lens. So we're taking off these little rings right here because this is what we're replacing, but also we are getting rid of this entire light. And I'm going to probably do the intake at this circle. This exact circle will be the intake. And it's going to go all the way through to the back, but as of right now we need to take off a bunch of these T20s. There's one ring, it comes in halves. So there's that one. And this one. I also don't care if I break these because I don't need them anymore. Oh, I think I broke that one. Maybe. Alright. Now this plastic piece comes out. We're also going to be painting these. I forgot to mention that. These are going to be painted black because they look a lot better. So that's off. So this whole thing is going to stay here. We're not moving this at all. But we do need to take this whole thing off. Which there's like 8 T20s. Kind of a lot. Man, the bolts on this one are a lot tighter. Now here is this whole piece. I just am going to screw the bulb out if I can. Alright. Pull out this white connector. Alright, and then we have a ground strap right here. So we're going to take off that. Alright, so here's this whole part. This just kind of, the ring pops off. There we go. and then that comes apart. Again, we are going to be painting this part, and this whole thing, this whole assembly is going to be going away. So no mas needing this bitch. Then again, this whole thing will also be probably going in the garbage, so I don't think I'm going to be using this at all. I'm going to most likely cut these off with a die grinder and reuse these bolt holes. That way I can reinstall the lights. But this whole assembly is going to be gone. So here is the inside of the headlight. I'm going to try to get it better. So here's the inside. Basically, I'm going to cut out almost the whole side of it. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah. I don't really know how I'm going to do it, but we're going to do it. I'm going to do it one way or another. Alright, so here are the new Angel Eyes. We're not actually installing it yet. We are just going to mock it up. These are LEDs from the Angel Eye guy, so they're going to look a lot better. They're going to be a lot more bright. But we have this whole piece reinstalled, and the reason we did that is so we can put this on. It's going to go right there. Alright, so that is where that's going to sit. So we have that much room for the intake. So, let's see. Alright, so here is kind of the way it's going to look. We need to cut out a hole right here. So I need to I need to figure out the best way to do that, because I'm not sure what that is. Alright, so we are waiting for this glue to dry, and then we're waiting for another piece to 3D print. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to put this piece on and then the other ring over here. This one is glued on because we are deleting that light. There's nothing for it to snap onto anymore. So we had to glue it on, as well as we chopped all these little pieces off, which I can show you right here. So this had a bunch of pieces on them right here. You can see where I cut them off. And those were the mounting points. I cut off this, that way I could still mount on this outer cover, because that mounted to this and then this mounted to the headlight. So we got all those cut off, and now it is bolted up to the headlight and the glue is being set, and then I have the tube back here holding up the headlight, so I'll show you that in a second. But until that, make sure the bolts are all in before I put this on. Oh, and there went the tube I put there. Alright. So, if you remember, this was silver. I painted it, which is why it is no longer silver, obviously. So, I guess it wasn't silver, it was chrome, nice and shiny. So this light's actually really easy to install. Before I do that though, I should probably put in one bolt. I can't even remember where any of these bolts went. I'm just like putting random ones in. They're all different lengths, so. So there's one down here that just goes in right now. And then we don't put that top one in until we put the light on. So that's all tight. This top one will go on. Easy to fish through the top cover that I have open right now. And this, there's a little hook right here. These are just 3D printed, so they're sort of easy to break. So you gotta be careful. But there we go. Now that's on, and we can get another bolt. And this other bolt goes in through the top right here. That's actually the only 2 bolts on this entire thing. On this entire lens at least, not the whole thing, but I just like it slipped. Like I said, I don't know if this is the right screw or not. I'm also just on my bed because I don't have a fucking workbench to use. We'll get there someday. Alright, there we go. So that's both the lenses in now. This one just needs to dry more. It kind of fell out and then I had to re-glue it back in. So hopefully it stays there. It does say it takes 24 hours to cure. But here is the main tube that's going to be going through. Originally I had this as the back piece, so it would slide into here. 2 things, it doesn't fit, and this needs to be longer. This is the biggest tube I could print in my printer, so I needed to extend the bottom part like another inch so that it could slide into here and adapt in. So this goes onto the back, and then this is going to go slide in through the front, and then I need to make another thing for the actual lens itself, another ring to put on right there. So we're almost done with this one. The other one is already complete. We built that one for a TikTok video, so yeah, it's looking good so far. Alright, we finally got the tube and everything done. This is the back side, and it just slides in there. We're gonna put some sealant, glue, whatever, adhesive right here, and we're gonna tape it off. So first thing we need to do is grab our headlight, and we need to get this in here, which it's probably not gonna fit too great. This stuff's also very thin. I did it like, I think it's 1 millimeter thick, so it should be nice and easy to get in here because it's so thin. Where before it was pretty thick, it was kind of a pain in the ass to get in. So, right there. Cool. So you see there, it fits pretty good on the back. It covers up most of it. There is definitely going to need to be some adhesive put on that as well. That's what this giant lip is for around this whole thing. So there's that. Oh, shit, that was probably okay. So like I said, I had to glue that on. Seems like the glue is fairly tight. And then I don't know. I probably put that in the fucking spot. We will find out real quick, won't we? Just slide that down in there. Okay, well, that does work. Push this lens on all the way. Ooh, I think I'm crushing something. Yeah, right there. There's always one of these clips that don't want to go in all the way. And I just probably almost broke it. Okay, so that is on all the way. That tube is in. Oh, it's like really good in there too. Oh my gosh. All right. So as you can see all the way down to the bed, you can see those wires moving around. It's not as clean as a passage as I wanted, but so the next thing we're gonna need to do is we're gonna have to tape this off and cut this, and then I'm gonna get a ring right here. I'm gonna try to make it as small as possible, that way it doesn't cover up as much of the headlight as possible, but we gotta do what we gotta do. We have the tube where I want it. We have everything good to go. We have everything ran, and we just need to put the lens back on. So we are using this like adhesive tape stuff. I don't know what it is, but this is what the headlight was put together with. So it's literally just like it's just a thick strip of like glue, I guess. I don't know. But we have to run it along this entire channel all the way around the headlight. Like I said, I already put the other one together. So what I'm going to do on this one, from learning my lesson, is I'm going to stretch this stuff out because it was a little thick for the normal, or the other side. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get the lens in. I don't know why it's stuck to that, it shouldn't be. Yeah, so we literally just stick it in this little groove right here. Like I said, I'm going to try to stretch it out, make it a little less thick. It might be making it a little too thin in some areas. Before we put the lens on though, I'm going to grab the heat gun and heat this shit up. It should make it a lot easier to get the lens in and hopefully make it seat a little better. That's what we're going to do right now. It is 10 o'clock at night, which is why I'm in my room. Alright, now that it's all nice and hot, it is time to put the headlight lens on. Don't forget the connector down here at the bottom. I'm gonna snap that in. That would suck ass if you forgot this. I don't know why there's one on there. It's kind of stupid if you ask me. This side's a little harder. We have to get this tube on and we have to get the blinker bulb in. Okay. Gotta make sure no clips are being stuck like that. Okay. And we need to shove it on there. So heating it up should just make it easier to squeeze on. There's one clip engaged. We need to make sure this is still fitting. Alright, that screw is in. Put that rubber piece back down. And that is this whole thing put together. So, we just need to let the glue dry. As far as over here, we need to twist this because it's not completely dried yet. Alright, right about there. Okay, sorry, that wasn't even on camera. So I just had to twist the tube a little bit. The glue's not dry. I'm gonna have to put some more on the back when I do that. I need to not be touching the shit in the back because that's not dried either. So, here is the tube. You can see it right there. I have this insanely thin ring right here. This ring is going to go on here and kind of going to cover it up a little bit. And I'm going to put some adhesive on. Let's get off camera again. Put adhesive under here and in between the lens. That way it's going to seal off the water, hopefully. That's kind of what this is to do. It's also to make it hide my ugly cuts that I did, which it doesn't do a great job at. I might need to make a thicker piece, but yeah, that's what that does. And we'll do that tomorrow though. We're just gonna let everything else dry on this before we do anything else. The tube needs to dry, which you can see down there. So, I'm pretty happy with it. It's not exactly what I wanted, but it'll do for sure. All right, so we got the bumper over there. It's all ready to go on the car. Got all the grills and everything on it. I have the intercooler back up into the air because it was hanging down a little bit. So, it's ready to go on. We have one headlight right here and then one headlight's over there in the sun because I just put more glue on it, more adhesive. So that's drying, but we're gonna get this bumper thrown on, or I guess we're gonna get the headlights thrown on and then the bumper. All right, so we're basically done. The last thing we need to do is hook up our DRLs that we installed, which are these two wires, well, 4 wires, I guess, 2 connectors. We're gonna install this. These are where the 2 connectors go, and then this connector plugs into where the old DRL plugs into. And then I think this is a resistor. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Just plug these in. I waited to do this now just to give the glue as much time to dry up, because it is going down there where all the pipe is and stuff. Kind of shove it on down there. Alright, and then we're going to plug this in. Like that. And then now we just hope everything works. Put this cover back on. I haven't tightened down these bolts yet, son of a bitch. I already put all my tools away. Alright, that's how the car is looking right now. There's still tape over the lens, but we're going to start it and hopefully the DRLs turn on. We're looking good. They're flashing on the camera. They're not doing that in real life. Can you hear that turbo? That bitch is loud. Sweet. All right. It's looking good. Holy shit. This car's looked like garbage for so long, and it's just made it look insanely better. I actually need to get the tape off the headlight. It is misfiring a little bit. This car hasn't really been turned on in over a month, so kind of expect that. But so the paint match on the fenders is pretty good. The paint match on the hood, not so much. The hood doesn't look great, but the hood obviously needs to be painted, so it's whatever. We still need to put on the headlight washer nozzles and the tow hook cover. And then we also need new fog lights because the ones I have don't work with this new bumper. So, but as right now, it looks great. I love it. All right, we got the bumper on all the headlights on, and everything is looking good. I forgot to bolt down the headlights, so I need to do that. But here's the intake. It's kind of unfinished. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. You can still see kind of some adhesive right there and shit. So I am gonna clean that up later, but it goes all the way down like underneath the air filter. So it's pretty cool. The LEDs look really good. You can still see this one pretty well, even though it's kind of covered up by the intake. So that's good too. We need new fog lights though. The ones from the old bumper don't work, but it's still looking good. I'm really happy with it. The car has just looked like shit for a while. And I mean, it's not amazing because the hood is still peeling, as you can see there. I also need new badges. I don't like these ones, but we gotta worry about that at another time. So that's all done and nice, looking good. So we're gonna end off the video right here with the engine bay on the 240. We also just kind of have the fenders on, letting them kind of sit and kind of mold to the body a little bit better because they haven't been on the car at all, and it's getting close to getting them on. So I want them to kind of just sit here This lip has started to kind of fall because it's way too far up. It needs to be flat. So that's sort of started to fall since I put them on. They've only been on here for like a week. So there's that. And then I also sprayed this rust encapsulator along all the seams and on right here because it was pretty pitted right there and I don't want the rust to spread ever. So I wire willed it and sprayed this rust encapsulators to make it so it doesn't spread. So we're going to scuff it up and we're going to seam seal it and then we're going to primer it and we're going to paint it. But that's all going to be in next video because this is where we're going to end this one. So I appreciate anybody that's watched this video. The working on the E92 was a lot of fun, getting that intake done. Took a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I'm happy with the way it looks. It looks so much better and I'm actually like excited to drive it some more. So car's lots of fun and got to see a little bit of the 240 in this video, not a whole lot. But next video is going to be all about the 240. So I will see you guys in that one. Peace out.